Ndinelea Malikano ndipo iyi ndi program ya Zodiak exclusive. Program yathu ya lero tikucheza ndi mkulu wina amene samadziwika ku mtundu wa Malawi zaka zapitazo, koma pano dzina lake lili mkamwamkamwa mwa Amalawi. Komanso munthuyu anayesapo ndithu mwayi koma nkulephera kupeza udindo ku chipani cha MCP. Musatalikire, takhani pomwepo. Takulandirani olemekezeka a Vitumbiko Mumba.
Zomwe kwambiri.
Mulitu ndi mbiri yochititsa chidwi kuchoka pa umembala wamba ku chipani cha MCP kufika pa unduna. Mumamva bwa?
Ndiyesa kuti aliyense pakhala ndi mbiri inaliyonse and zimatengera ndi cholinga chako. So ukaona mbiri yako ndi zolinga zako umamva kukoma olo kusakhutitsidwa ndi mmene zolinga zako zilili. So paka panopa ngene kuti mamva kukoma ndi malingana ndi zolinga zanga ya ndithu.
Kufikira nthawi imene munatuluka ku convention ya MCP, mwina anthu samakudziwani, anakudziwani nthawi imeneja munangotuluka, and anthu amati this guy is too ambitious, kungofikira basi kufuna mpando wa vice president. Inu zimenezi, where were you getting the motivation kuti mungofikira pa mpando wa vice president osayisako mipando inayi?
Mene nkamamba mujana kuti zimatengera ndi zolinga zako. Ndiye inde anthu atana kuti mwina ambitious and the like, palibe cholokiyo khala ambitious munthu. Komano, as I said, zimatengera kuti cholinga chako ndi chani makamaka. Achakwera atu atani member wamba na onso nofika pa president. Bora inafika pa vice president. You know?
No bora kwe.
Vice president. Ajali nso yaso na onso na member wamba. Anangofika ni o vice president. Ndi anthu ambisi no yamba ya. Inde kuti anthu kuti arambisha so nangaye nawo. Chikanga kuti segregative justice, kuti anthu apanga akupanga zinthu mosankha. Ndi ambiri apanga zimenezozo. So si chachinthu kwenye kuti Mumba banja ayi zotheka ndithu menga ndizimene munthu akufuna.
Before the convention you had strong opposition kuchokera within the party.
Oh yes,
kuti anthu sakweneka kupikisana nawo but we saw you fighting even kupita ku court. Mwina why did you went up to that approach kuti mpaka I should still fight, kuti I should contest for this position?
Iyi ndi ndale palibe amene apeza udindo mwa ize mwa simple. Ngati kuyamba ndale expecting kuti uzandira zinthu ngati ice cream ndiyo kunama, si ndale ndi nkhondo. You fight for whatever you want to fight for. So sinapita ku court in area, there are no court records kuti napita ku court. But won't let me correct, I never went to court. Koma anthu ena ufuna kwa bwina napita ku court, they're fighting on my behalf and other things, but I don't have any connection with them. Komano ineyo
no mnabe connection. Some people are like kuti mwina akwatuma ndamumba atwa
ndi ndale zomwe ndale anthu amanga zambiri kuti izi nde mangoyangana zinazo those are rumors and the end there, nowhere to be written or be kind of evidence. Komano, as I said, mundale sungayembekezo mara ice cream ndale ndi nkhondo. Any person in the party, you have to fight for it. If you think you get everything easily, then don't do politics, go to church.
Koma panopa looking back, mumamvetsetsa chimene mwina anthu ena ku MCP amanenera kuti you should not vie for this position.
As I said, ndi ndale
for the high position.
Izi ndi ndale ndipo alichimakhala ambition. When there's a crash of ambitions, people fight everywhere in the world. So sichachilendo yayi. And kuti there's any exceptionality, kuti yayi basi pali exception it's ndindale basi ngotero kuti kuna kulikonse crash of ambitions makhala nkhondo. Depending on how strong the opponents are, ngoli makhaini ngati athuja na yeniyeni. But zinadusa zinapita.
Modi nali yeniyeni mungadziwa kuti yini nkhondo yeniyeni.
From the number 2021. And I said without fear of contradiction, idakaliba mpaka na panopa because ena omwe ndinakhala type time manager asikira constituency kwanga pano pakuti no athanira no primaries asinthe ma area ma delegates and the like then ndingoziyangana kuti achepa convention unali kuti study home ground yanga I was fighting from outside koma kumuzi constituency
mwati nkhondo imene inayamba 2021 moti maganizo awo oyima vice president ku chipani cha MCP munali nawo kuyambira kalikali.
Of course
anthu amadziwaso ku chipani kuti nzimene mukufuna
anthu anga amene mukwenda ntchito amadziwa and ena amaona patata munthu mene kwenda mamuva ngosya chase munthu mazoti mamuva awawa akupita apo, so you pray your horse there, you bring your queen there, your king there, so ena ndena amadziwa ndiye nkhondo namba 2021.
Nde mwati nkhondo iyi ikupitirirabe ku constituency.
Yes, correct.
Are you vying also kuti muzayimirire ngati phungu wa nyumba ya
Mzimba. Oh yes, Mzimba Central constituency. But I've been engaging the right people there, and but I know kuti ina ndena many and ina nawo zunga most na kuti I know kuti masikira constituency wanga kuti finane, but I wish you all the best. Let's meet on the ground. So that is a game. So people employ many tactics kuti athane ndi munthu to bury you politically.
Moti galauza okonzekera ku constituency ko kunzimba kumnayamba kale.
Okay, galauza constituency numbers 2020 thereabout. Komano because umuzi watu inakhandiwa muthandiza kwamba kale ndi 207-8 ndili kunja, 208-9 ndili kunja upanga pandi apa koma ndi madzala jani mbewu ya nsogolo. Ndiye pano 2020 is identified now with kulunjika kuti no apa pano ndi upangano za ndale so pano. Wali mambuyomo ndimangodzala dzina kumuziko.
Tiziti pandale tsopano kwa inu, the sky is the limit, right?
I can't say that, but for now I'm focusing much on the constituency kuti kale MP ndipange na tamuzi watu ku nyumba ya malamulo.
Zuma tamveka pena kuti mwina mukuika maso chitsogolo kuti muzathenso kutsogolo kuyima pa mpando mwina wa president, zimenezi
ndi malingaliro anthu.
Inu mulibe malingaliro mwanu?
Paka pano pakaya komano mangova anthu yankhula moti asiyana ziyankhula anthu azichezapo nkamba kama ndi ndali anthu amaswazo kamba anthu azichezapo malingaliro awo ndithu.
President Lazarus Chakwera atakusankhani kukhala nduna ya zantchito kusatira kutula pansi kwa Agnes Nyalonje, munalodabwa
kwambiri chimembekezera
chimakudabwitsani ndi chani?
Choyamba kumalawi traditionally kukhale minister or kukhale MP most of the times, unless some exceptional times whereby presidents have appointed non-MPs to be ministers. Ndi malingaliro manga munalibero pang'ono ndi another
komatu aliko kwa MCP ena ndidona tindavera kantukule.
Yeah, that's when there are some exceptional times whereby presidents bingo. First one to do that was bingo mtalikana pangapo bingo. Then Niso also APM anapangapo also. Then Niso Joyce Banda had some members of cabinet ministers, my MPs. So there are some exceptional circumstances when the president was sigo matopanga zote also. Komano ineyo olopangono simaganisi lako yani bona ndo kwambiri.
Munali kuti pamene a president amalengeza kuti akusankhani ngati nduna?
Nali ku Zambia as an engineer, nimapanga consultancy work in many countries. And manager timapanga za ku Zambia kuli project imene ndimanganya kumene koko. De nango landira doneresanga mbanga foka kumusi. Ndione news mazulo pa online president ya bwana invested kuti bwanja bwana naja national address. Kuna kuti akamba za appointment, it was quite shocking and quite surprising. Ndinozabisa
moti sana kuuze ndikanthawi kena kake kuti awa ndikuganiza kuti mutakhala pa mpando uwu.
I don't think my president Amatero amangokusankha, then it's up to you to say no, yes, I think so. In my case, sinimadziwa kena kusanduzepo yayi.
Are you sure sinimadziwa kena kake?
100%.
Anthu amanena kuti you are very close kwa Achakwera komanso mwana wawo Aniki Chakwera.
Chakwera as a president is close to every Malawian ngati bambo wathu tonse. Ndiye mwana kuti ali close kwa ineyo, aiso close kwa ino, aiso close kwa gospel, kwa Gabriel, kwa Chivatu.
Ngati mwanenera kuti some people mwina are exception, kuti closeness yawo mwina singafanani ndi Amalawi imene tilili koma inu kuti muli kuchifupi kwambiri ndi kuchifumu.
I don't see it that way. I just take him as a father of the nation and as a president of the party. that's it, and it ends there.
Nanga mwana wawo Nick Chagwera kuti you are
Andizanga
very
wa-
close.
ndinzanga
Ma
wa-
business mmapangira limodzi zina ndi zina mmachitira limodzi.
Nick ndinzanga kwambiri komanso Nick and anzake ambiri so kwambiri so they are very close to him than I am. So my business is ndanyamata moyo wa social media mangolemba palibe umboni naliwonse kuti Nick I got my own businesses. Nick kali business anazo zake, but there's no joint business in Nick and homwe ufoti akubisire mbiri muntu. This in 2021, as I said, is whatever happened convention. Now they try to link me in the Niki Kwambiri, even by convention Ibaja. And when I don't go to Amuntu Chanai, Anana Mabods, I don't know what Vitumbiko Maganda Nyagon, Dangona First Lady, their president Afuna nephew Wao, Wagazawa Kari Vice President, good kind of Banja. And in coming an FS one become delegates the night before convention, and they discovered too late good. That was a lie. Ena bwa no bang confess ananamiza izakuti apa pana Mumba. Ngota zitaini zimene zozo. So people just create stories kuti nango kunonga ndindali is a game. So you don't get offended. You just want, oh, okay, all right, that's how they do it. Fine, you learn and you move forward. So they have said, oh, Nick is this and that and Vito mangota but that will never deters us and actually it brings us closer to each other than setting us apart. Yeah, indeed.
But there were some pictures on social media.
Yeah.
I know the Nick Chagwera, Muriku Sebi,
Oh, yes.
discussing some government deals in regards to passports. How do you comment on that?
Leah, you must be an investigative journalist. Don't take what people write on social media that as the truth. Were we discussing government passports? Where was it written?
But tell us about that picture.
So
You
the
were
way we
there
have
on
asked,
that picture.
so the way we have asked it, kuti munapita kuja matani, but not confirming kuti timabana my passports because you have asked as if you have got information on that. There's nothing about that.
Those were reports. I would want
Reports
you
from where?
to also
Reports from where?
clear those reports.
Reports from where? Reports from where? Social media by Zigoba. Who wrote that? Zigoba. There's no media outlet. Zodiak, Times, Nation wrote about that. Even with Serbia. If you saw that article came because the Minister of Economy of Serbia, who happens to be a friend, anagapa Twitter page yake, the trip was private. It just happened that when we were called there, Nzangayo amafuna partner kuno Malawi was ICT because kumatenda ambiri onokoza NRB whatever and there was Zambia ICT RBM several others. I want to explore the Malawian market because I knew them from Namibia. They're doing some work in Namibia and for instance, if you show some letters from 2018 of bringing the MDF for another issue, they've supplied some other stuff with MDF, police, and Twagameno, but no, it never made news in news. Just because I'm in the government, people make noise out of it, which is very unfair. But Mangos young and they never deter me. Actually, they make me move forward. We went for something different. I wanted someone, an IT expert, I wanted which expert can I part of Malawi. They do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of manufacturing. In Namibia, for instance, agupanga andi company upanga ma bullets as ankondo on a PPP basis. They're doing a lot of stuff. So we want an IT person. So okay, fine, I've got someone else, Lafayette. So yeah, let's go now and see if we can have a meeting of brains in that area. Then Nick, it was an issue to do with farming because Nick is a farmer, and this gentleman said, I want a farm in Malawi because they have heard about mega farms, but I want to partner with a local person. I couldn't go far because I know Nick is into farming. I said, Nick, let's go. Maybe we can have a clinch deal with these guys who went to the farms and the like. But because the cousin of my friend is a minister of economy, I said, how can we explore and discuss things? Not officially.
On personal capacity.
Oh yes. So he took pictures and put on Twitter. That's how people got to know about it. But we never went there on government business.
Tibwererenso kusankhidwa kwanu ngati mnduna. When you stepped into office, kagwiridwe ntchito kanu kanaonekeratu kuti ndikosiyana ndi momwe nduna zina zimagwirira ntchito. Komanso mwina nduna imene inalipo imagwirira ntchito. Anthu adayamba kupanga compare performance yanu ngati minister ndi anthu ena. Are you aware on that?
Kuti kuleba ku trade.
Kuleba. your first appointment ngati nduna mundangofika mu office ndikufika ndithu ndi mphamvu kagwiridwe ntchito kanu anthu nkumachita kuona kuti akaka ndikosiyana ndi nduna zina. Are you aware of that?
Zimangola kuti anthu amanga compare ndi azinzathu. I don't think that's the way we should look at things. First of all, we come from different backgrounds, and normally background yako muntu imapanga inform how you do things. I'm an engineer, professional engineer. I like being on site. I've been site engineer or kind of a site solving issues on the ground. When I go into the office, it's a matter of the soft part of it, what can we correct in terms of management and systems to make sure that the things on the ground, they are working properly. So I like being on the ground because I'm an engineer. Engineers like being on the ground. Now I chair, ndatenga bingo, but economic engineer, even a political engineer, because engineers are known to be action people. So you can't do action in the office. You do action on the ground. So I'm just being an engineer. So you can't compare an engineer to others. It's different. So and to Azingo versus Agudi, rather compare an engineer to an engineer because we are made from the same fabric. So I'm going to like this and I'm going to compare and Chito.
Kumene munasankhidwa kuyamba kukhala nduna. Mwanena kuti ndinu engineer mumakonda kupita pa ground. Mwina kunali ma technocrats.
Yeah.
Amene samagwira ntchito ndi nduna ina. Mukuganiza kuti mwina sana chite approach bwanji imene inu munatengayo kuti ndinu nduna ya leba mukuyenereka nkumakayendera nkumakaona kuti kodi anthu akugwira bwanji ntchito ma condition of service awo akuyenda motani?
You see, ndakhanduka amba kambiri nakuti kuleba kuna mavuto ambiri, and I'm happy kuti the budget this year has made like a portion for inspections. Kuleba kujako ntafika nausuda kuti unali 45% vacancy rate. Number one. Number two, funding tazambiri yakapempa imangodulidwa. Then because of that, it was very, very difficult for them to manage some of the operations. So ntafika nina some of these operations I can do them at my own cost, and truthfully speaking, some of the operations mapanga finance ndeka, those are the lighter ones. Pena mapanga be push kupita kukwina ku ministry matani imabwera upon it heavily. Most of the operations in Gatmines also I had to use my own resources just to make sure that we are doing something. So I had two choices: to sit down and watch things, or do something about it. And fortunately, it paid dividends, and I'm happy and I'm proud. I don't look back and say, no, I'm happy about it.
What is your working relationship like with other cabinet ministers?
Very cordial. I haven't seen anything abnormal. Very cordial. Actually, the cabinet is one of the best cabinets I've ever seen because I've ever heard or seen. We have got a proper gel with everybody.
Ndikufusa izi chifukwa chonena zokuti ma ministerial policies I know kuti they are linked. Kuti mwina ntchito zimene inu mukugwira zikukhuzanso pena unduna wina kuti mugwire nawo ntchito bwinobwino mwina apa ku trade kumene muli mukamachita zinthu zina mukuyenekanso kulumikizana ndi unduna wina mwina wazachuma ndi ena. So I wanted to know kuti relationship yanu ndiyotani ndi ma cabinet ministers ena.
So far so good. Nothing out of the ordinary, and like many of trade the closest work with Kwambi in the as a Chuma Chichola, and he's just my neighbor, a house away from me. So I can go to his house for a cup of coffee, comes here for a cup of coffee. Some things we discuss over a cup of coffee at our home. So we've got a very good working relationship. So I think Chakwera has made sure that the cabinet is always intact and one spirit and one accord. So everything's fine and smooth.
What are some of the decisions that you have made recently? The issues of mabana.
Yes, we discuss and make sure that everyone is on the same page. I can't make a sort of decision. Yes, trade can initiate. Good trade good this and this and this. Komano, you also have to bounce it off with Mikalagari. Good echo is madan, and Justice on Valo is a very close friend of mine from a long time. So Valo Parinkani to yes, this is very important. Let's go ahead and that's it. And before that happens as well, you discuss with the president himself, and you discuss and gives you direction and clear where would you. I don't want any he's very strict. And I say, good, if anything goes wrong, it will be me because maybe I've been wrong in implementation. But otherwise, you have the blessing of the cabinet, blessings of the president, and fellow ministers. Yeah.
Munafotokoza apo zokuti mutapita ku nduna ona za ntchito za ntchito ku Ministry of Labour mumagwiritsa ntchito ma resources anu pa zinthu zina. Tikudziwa kuti anduna ino ndi munthu wa ndalama zake even before uminister wanthu amadziwa ndithu kuti Vitumbiko Mumba ndi munthu ndithu wa ndalama zake. Ino chuma chanu mudachipeza bwanji?
Kansi unda munthu wa ndalama zake pese komano mwachisomo cha Ambuye kachenji makape
kachenji koma we know ndithu munthu wa ndalama zake osati so change.
No, kachenji makapeza kasendra ndalama zake anthu kuyantha ndalama kunjako. You understand Leah?
Akuti ino ndi mmodzi
iwetu waphoda uli ndalama ati.
Sitingafanizire mwina wawanda mene tingati no ndi machenji.
All right. No, I've got a few businesses and I still consult. One thing I will never stop is consulting as an engineer. I still consult, but as long as Panopa is mostly outside the country. As I said, in project of Zambia, Ikuta marriage in oil. So I still consult on that one. I'm consulting in South Africa with NW consulting engineers and some other projects. And above that, where I make more resources, I'm an arbitrator, assistant arbitrator. So, kama cases and now I'm arbitrate on cases. So, yeah, at least by the grace of God, kachenji goti utamangira fundi hapo magaveza ndito. Yeah.
Yayi titapumira kaye pang'ono umo ndi mmene tikuchezera mu program yathu ya Zodiac Exclusive ndipo program yathu ya lero tikucheza ndi Vitumbiko Mumba amene pano ndi nduna yoona zamalonda. Takulandiranso ku program yathu ya Zodiac Exclusive ndipo program yathu ya lero tikucheza ndi nduna yoona zamalonda Vitumbiko Mumba. Tinakambapo mongodusirira kusankhidwa kwanu ngati nduna yoona za ntchito, Minister of Labour. Mwangokhalako pang'ono mukugwira ntchito amalawi akudziwani akonda ntchito zanu mwasunthano president akusankhani kukhala nduna yoona zamalonda. Do you think appointment imene president achitaponso chedwa kuchosani ku nduna yoona za ntchito kupita ku nduna yoona za malonda mwina ndi mmene munapangira perform komanso ndi mmene amalawi anakukonderani kunjaku?
You see, my appointment atwa amachida pachizungu kenya ngoti prerogative ya president. Nde ineyo singakhale ndi singaike muno makweni kuti what was the basis for that appointment. But I must be honest with you, when I was appointed, I was boarding to Namibia kumaliwa comrade Sam Neoma. When I was told by the people, I went into the flight. I shed tears because I didn't know whether to celebrate or to cry. Next to me was Lucky Sekwese, PS Waku Vice President, Right Honorable Michael Osi. He noticed that I think my brother here is in shock because the hostess came with a wife. Good fact, wife me sons. I bonded well with them. Okay, so you see, New College, I was the president of the union, Protecting Students Union (PSU). And I've always, my motto has always been to fight for the rights of people, the less privileged, and many in the society more than our own age. So I bonded well with the workers. You know, laborers were calling me like, man, my message, yeah, almost. So we're like, no, for me. So that was one of the things that, carrying people's hopes and aspirations is one of the key things a leader must be proud of. That you're carrying people's hopes and aspirations, and I was proud of that. But at the same time, in my life, I've always dreamt of being a minister of trade and industry. Okay, I've always dreamt of being a minister of trade and industry. If there was a chance, if I'm not a minister, let's say 2025 now we MP, the chance that I'm going to do I've chosen journey trade and industry because I believe that the heart of the country's economy, like Malawi, lies in trade and industry, because whatever you do, farming, mining, and the like, if you don't have proper trade and industry policies, all that is nothing. So if you look at Malawi, we know where there's little work to be done. So I've always wanted that, and so it was like, okay, and if I saw no can go full and say, I had bonded well with the people, had this vision and the plan, and the whole ministry in a kind of vision, and we gelled, and so there was a battle within myself, but accepted and okay, fine, I'll go for it, and here we are today.
Pamene mumafuna ndithu moyo wanu wonse.
With that, I'm satisfied.
Ndinakufunsani za ubale wanu ndi mtsogoleri wa dziko lino achakwera komanso mwana wawo Aniki. Nde apa mukamba kuti izi ndi zimene mwakhala mukufuna moyo wanu wonse mukucheza kwanu kapena munabenthulirapo kuti koma inetu ndimafuna apa kuti apa ngokusankhani kuti munabenthulira mwina kupemphaso kumene sinanga mumacheza nawo nkupempha kuti koma mutandipatsa apa zitha kukhala bwino.
You see there, many people take Chakwera as Mbusa. I take him as a philosopher because the first degree was in philosophy. Philosophers are very difficult people to work with in terms of Mbusa is very easy. So many people approach a president and Mbusa, and sometimes they might miss the point. Look at him as a philosopher first, and you understand him better. And I understand him as a philosopher. You don't do that with a philosopher. You find out what philosopher? Philosophers are able to read. They read a lot. They read beyond what you're saying. They read your body language and everything else. So maybe read my body language and whatever, how I do things, I'm not sure. But I've never, before God, I've never told him my desire. I've never, and I'll never do that.
Pano akusankhanino kundunako mwina kumene anthu amaona zokuti zinthu zambiri zimene mudziko muno mwina zikutivuta zimafunika ndithu kuyika mapolisi ogwirika ku unduna wa za trade. Pano kuti muli kumenekoko mukuchita zotani kukonza zinthu mudziko muno? Kuli mavuto a forex, kuli kukwera mitengo kwa zinthu zimene anthu akuti zatsamira ndithu kukhala ndi mafakitali kumachita malonda amene tingamatumize zinthu kunja kuti tikhale ndi forex yokwanira mdziko muno, kukwera mitengo kwa zinthu mukuthana nazo bwanji zinthu zimenezi?
That's a very difficult question, Leah, and a complex matter. But let me tell you something. As a country, we are a capitalist economy. All right? Zovuta kupanga control mitengo ya zinthu kupanda malamulo kazikika because our markets are liberal. That's why as FTC aleta ku court abala good news ulibe mphamvu itani yopangira cap kukwera kwa zinthu komano zikatero mukumakhala engagement and through MCCI, Malawi Commercial Chambers of Industry, and chaired by Minister of Finance and the other ministers as well. There have been a lot of interventions which I cannot be at liberty to explain Panopa, but I can assure you, Kuti, there's a lot of discussions and a lot of interventions done by my brother Chichola, Minister of Finance, by the governor himself and other cabinet ministers, and the HE has met several key stakeholders and captains in the industry. So it's a collective effort, not only for Minister of Trade and Industry, it's a collective effort. But having said that, as Minister of Trade and Industry, as I said, I'm an engineer, I like being on site. So I've been on site, I've met people, I've talked with people on the ground. I've found out that there's something that need to be fixed in the office, okay? For the things in the office to speak to the issues on the ground. So one of the key things to control this is we are working on a new bill, which is Essential Goods and Services Bill, whereby you cite which are the essential goods and services. For instance, sugar, salt, cooking oil. You look at fuel, fertilizer. You look at chimanga as essential what? Essential goods. Services. One key thing, Leah and everyone watching, people underestimate the impact of my rentals, house rentals, and office rentals or shop rentals on the inflation. So those are services being offered by people, and it's under my ministry in terms of working with the relevant ministers like Minister of Lands and Housing Corporation. You see, other countries, Amakandi Bungwe, limene limapangano regulate ma rentals. Kumana kuno kwa napanga apo pakale apo nthawi ya Bing, if I'm not mistaken, imachita kuti Malawi Government Property Valuations Board, which was supposed to be laid by a chartered land economic surveyor. Kumano private building owners who control the rentals and raise rentals the way they want, they made sure that this thing does not take off. But I know that it's at the heart of the president that this thing will take off. Other countries have it. Why not Malawi? We like to be progressive. Others are going this side, we're going this side. You know? I know of someone who has a shop. Most of these people, they've got cameras. You know? Now, those cameras, you think they're security cameras, but they monitor how many customers are getting into your shop. I know one shop, I can speak without fear of contradiction, whereby before they got the shop, they were, the previous owner was having about 80 or so customers per day. But after they took over, did whatever they did, more than 30 customers per day. Renters don't go no justification. You have nowhere to go to complain. Either you move my price, move out. So these property owners, they're not happy sometimes to see you making money and them getting the same amount of rents. Who regulates that? We need a regulatory body for that. So as a ministry, part of the thing we're looking at is on services, essential goods and services. We're looking at that as well. I know some people will be angry about it, but as I said, in leadership, it's about making decisions. My decision. So people will be angry sometimes, but most of the people, as long as they are happy, you're good. It's a democratic environment. People will be happy, some will not be happy, but we have to consult. So there will be series of consultations along the way with stakeholders on this issue. But I know the Malawi Government Property Valuations Board is there, was established here, being before Bagiri. I can't remember, and we are some people we are part of the board and the like, and the units of lands, if I'm not mistaken, it should be units of lands, not housing. One of those is there. Komano, it was frustrated by scrupulous business people who control rentals in town. So, in normal business, you transfer to the consumer. Eventually, exactly. That's where we need support of a Kama, like John Capito. He needs to come in on this issue because he protects the consumers. So we need to go to the root, but without a property valuation board, Yaboma, and so forth. You know, when you want to sell me a house, you look at the price, who valued your house, and who certified it. In other countries, capital is coming like ours. So without a stamp from a government board, this is the price. You go to the traffic, they value the car. Panoba, you sell your car there. Fees what informed? Example, what informed your decision? For instance, you're looking at what do I want to say? You're looking at nyumba za housing corporation of the lands. Ubeza muntu nyumba ya kanyumba ya jani ya housing ya lands akupanga 150,000 per month, 150,000 per month. When I go agula times 3 450 and this much is okay. You haven't added any value, no maintenance work. Wango kweza ntengo just because you have another lands boma. But those were charging as it's supposed to be charged. You understand?
So biru imene hii tiyembekezere kuti ipita ku parliament liti pompano akhala kutseka ndithu parliament tangosala ndi miezi yochepa kutsogoloko kuti boma ilili temu yawo
pali biru imene yoyo pali biru ya economic sabotage bill. We need to review the Business Licensing Act because Business Licensing Act you can't be a wholesaler and get at the same time. Like one kunja zona investor or Chinese ajugo China unoka udi investor oba tutenga investment certificate komano mapanga kaunjika. It's happening now. So we really need. Are we so desperate for investors? As kalima wholesalers akaunjika zona. Mulindi mangoya yonchi mulongo no.
My investors akaunjika.
Imagine. And we call them investors. No, I think we have opened up too much. Clearing, my agents are clearing. Why should we be using foreign clearing agents who are paid in dollars? We don't got our professional clearing agents in this country. Mining so that's mining. You wonder it's a heavy equipment, just a grader or a grader. We still remember a grader, but normally a Tero B is enough. To get anyone, China, India, Australia to do that. Those things must be reserved for Malawians. You know, so all these things we're working on them. Kunalibe legal advisor to cause the president the SPC. I to Mr. Legal advisor Monday Romeri after we made the request. I did to Mr. Lawyer, Council Chaposa Pili, Wambago Monday, and I said, my friend, this I need it as soon as possible. Zina as you can do via gazette. Like I remember, Business License Act of 2012 gives section 36 gives me the right as a minister to say from now onwards these businesses are reserved for Malawians. In the construction industry, maiko ena contract is for so much amount sungakale foreigner. Kwakunoko kukonda ya 2 billion kwaja muli anthu akunja paka nawo nanga Malawi apanga business nthawi yanji. So is this now zoti thamanga pano through gazette after consultations, but some bills matenga nthawi. We need wider consultation because we have malamulo. So it can be this parliament obviously because we need to consult several stakeholders. But the fact that we have started is a positive thing. So pang'ono tikafika.
Mwakambapo kuti kukwera kwa mitengo kwa zinthu ngati dziko mwina palibe munthu amene angapange control zinthu zimenezi. Komano amalawi kunja kwa kumadandaula kuti koma kukwera kwa mitengo kwa zinthu kuku kwanyanyira. 2020 timagula 2 liters ya mafuta pa 2000 kwacha koma pano mpaka 17,000 ena 20,000 kumene 6 liters timagula 6,000 koma pano mpaka 45 sugar 400 chakuti pano mpaka nafika pa 2.8 akweza posa chidwa pompa tikakamba za chimanga mukudziwa kale pano ndi 100 chakuti akuti ukuku kwanyanyira unduna wanu mukamamva zoterezi mukumamva bwanji?
Zonse zizopweleka mtima and pena umafuta ningotere but ndife dziko la malamulo. Number one, we are a democratic country koma so dziko limene limasata malamulo. So in our dealings or in our holy anger we should not be stepping on other people's maufulu awo. Chimene ndikakuze nale amuli apa koma so mwana kunivesera zimene anena president ku parliament akundipanga appoint mukamvese bwino speech nanga bwana apanga appoint ngati ndona ya trade and nakuti I've got a resolve to deal with cartels. What happened was cosmetic. Dollar inafika pa 6.2 but within a week inasikaso panoba pa black market wene bobet panoba pa 3 chakuti. There was nothing the economic activity what has happened with this Karijonch apart from deliberate moves by unscrupulous business people who want just to make a killing and just make things hard for Malawians. And I can assure you, their plan was good by the end of this month, the dollar should be equal to 10 pound kwacha. But because of the leadership of Dr. Chakwera and he put people together, even before I was appointed, they started working on this. And after Bwiramo to just along, they have done, even before I was appointed, they had already contained this before I was being appointed. When I came back, took over, na utanzangarani, apangabangagari, zambiri, modinga, just but as long as the cabinet ministers were there and who are there at the moment, they had already done a lot with the president and engaged with several stakeholders. But what I can assure you, we are engaging and we are engaging and we are engaging. So, zero meeting, you mentioned a public-private dialogue forum chaired by MCCI, whereby stakeholders in manufacturing, in financial services, SME and construction, we come together and we meet and discuss. And all the things are being thrashed out and we are getting somewhere. So Malawians to be assured that in as much as the law is a bit, as a capitalist economy, we can use much to get that. There might be some other way out, but we are trying to engage because in this scenario, the best we can do is engage and engage.
Tinena kuti boma linagona kwambiri kuti linalekerera kwambiri 4 years zinthu nkumangoenda motere umu mitengo nkumango kwera kwambiri.
Boma sinagonepo ndipo sizagonapo komano the thing is we need, as I've already said,
mali boma sinagonepo izi zimene zikuchitika panozi bwanji sizinachitike zaka ziwiri zapitazo zaka zitatu zapitazo izi zimene zikuchitika pano kuthamanga kusintha zinthu kuona kuti anthu sakuchita izi bwanji sizinachitike zaka ziwiri
zitatu zinachitika because there's no media publicity. Sometimes people do things just without media coverage, so you never know what is happening. But there's been a lot happening. I know because I've been engaging with ministers before I was cabinet. I knew what had been happening. A lot is happening. Panopa, you know, Guti, Ntayinga Diwan by Afoja at Tobacco Control Commission. They go to inspect. How much we inspect for Biani? alimi amagenda kumatamangisa, you know. But we have come up with measures to do that. But because there's no media publicity, people don't even know what's happening. So there are a number of things the government does, but because about Nanyanya, there's that kind of publicity about what's happening. But Bumas are gonna up AI.
Tibwere pankhani ya ndale tsopano. Mwina ukutitha ubwera konso mtsogolomo koma tidapita kupa ndale pang'ono.
Yeah.
Kupita kuchisankho mu September pa 16 pano.
Yes.
Mukuziona bwanji zinthu?
Exactly.
Could there be some surprises coming ahead of the September 16 elections?
This is the time for surprises. So tuna zambiri, I believe. Yeah, indeed.
Sitaona kuti Vitumbiko Mumba chifukwa chakuthamanga atenga kukhala running mate.
I think ngati anthu amatenga running mate for thamanga ndi tulakwika. Zizikhala kuti content ya munthu, what can someone add value to the running of government. Otwanga ndi ambiri, and ena mathamanga with the purpose kuti andione, while ena mathamanga with conviction. So it takes upon someone to is this conviction or is this about publicity and the like. So there are all those things. But for me, I can challenge you. I'm focused on my constituency, the local parliament, and my people. But I can tell you, they'll be surprised, I believe so.
Tibwere mbuyo pang'ono kunkhani zanu za ndale munakamba kuti nkhondozo zidakalipobe.
Yes, I say that
within the party.
I'm in a party. I can't be fought by other people from outside the party. You see, ena they believe in that is Otana. By the way, I'm not a politician. I'm an engineer. Get me correct. That's why when I talk to people, I don't give political answers. I give real answers. When I don't know something, I say it openly. So, you see, I did not join politics to become a typical politician. I joined politics as a gap. And I felt like, okay, I can do something about this. You don't take it. That's why I joined politics. So, some people believe in that is Otana. And some of them have confronted them. With this proof, I confront them direct. And they know, as I'm talking now, they know what you know. But one thing I will say this, we operate under different types of grace. And nobody can interfere with someone's grace. At the end of the day, they'll get lampooned and lambasted. So, that's what has brought our country back.
Mwanena kuti you don't believe in ndale zothana.
Yes.
Ndi engineer ndipo mumapereka practical solutions.
Yes.
Komatu muli mkati mwa ndale.
Correct.
Mumenenso anthu akuchita za ndale.
Yeah.
MCP ndi chipani cha ndale.
Yes.
Anthu ali kumeneko ndi andale. How do you blend?
You see, thanks for that, Leah. Unfortunately, we are so much entrenched in politics that one has to sacrifice a lot, and here and there try to behave like one, just for the sake of making sure you get the desired goal. So I've always said this to people, that what matters most is the end result and the goal. Whatever happens in between here, so as an engineer in politics, yes, I am technically a politician because Ndupanga no yani Zandali, but I'm not a typical politician wa Ndale Zotana. I'll never pray that. I'll never do that. I'll just focus on let me do what I can do. Kuti Ndipange reach desired goal.
Nde mwafotokoza kuti inuyo mukudziwa kuti anthu ena ndithu akuchita ndale zothana. Mwachita kunena zokuti simukuyankhula izizi ndi manthanso.
Of course.
Do you know the people that are doing
I know them, and I've said I've confronted them live in and now in and ndikaguna kuti mupanga zakuti, you know.
Kuchipaniko.
Of course. And I said to me, they were saying no, let's have a solidarity rally.
Amembala wamba kapena akulu
make more money by regional level and the like. So for me, I said let's have a solidarity rally. To say unity as the Antochipan Limosi. I'm like, to hell with that. Why should you have a plastic? I'm not a politician to go there, cheat people, we're together. No, when you are the people going to my constituency meeting, constituency committee and area committees, Mumba City Confuna, our president Sakfuna Mumba, Funa Waguragudi, Lili Bodza, the HE, they will know him. And anyway, they will know him. He will never tell someone would good. Never. But they're trying to use the name of the president just to make sure that an amazing and it was our president. That Moody Mutage Simon of president, I'm saying Kabanji Duna, and I travel young. That would have suffered Muntunga. The thing is, I'll see you doing a Muntuanu, I mean, Mufuna anyway. You understand that? So they have been playing games, and I know, and you say this because like Panoba Nani registrations, my elections, we had to take monitors a bit ago, and Mumba as a dengue. That's a fact. And and they say let's have a solidarity rally for what? When you are busy segregating people who are siding with me. We know my primaries, Chakulilongo Bunda and the like, or we know my primaries. I would like to no kanga tufufuze kanga nabira mtamini just because she was with me on my side, and that's a fact. And I said, no, gentlemen, you are doing this because she was on my side in your convention. So I would also move 10 hours abuse of God, we should bury him, but don't ever bury us and bury me. Never. It will never happen.
Ndino member wa chipani cha MCP
NEC member
ali yesa akudziwa zimenezo ndino NEC member
yes,
wakhala kuchitika misonkhano ya MCP ya ndali madera osiyana achimwendo kwa kulowera kupangisa misonkhano ababa ukusa uchititsa misonkhano agotanuku ndiye nambira uchititsa misonkhano koma we have never seen you ku misonkhano imene
and we never see me because I don't believe in the papa ndichimukhondo dipeze masomajani dipeze mavuta chakwera. Tose unjunju wamuzi ngati ngombe. No, I don't believe in that. Let's spread out.
Ngomoto unjunju uchitika ku MCP usimugwirizana nawo kuchipani kwanu.
No, that's I can't comment on that, but in here I don't believe in kuti twange unjunju pamozi. Yet we have got a lot of work to convince Malawians about who to vote for, and that is Chakwera. So for me, I've got my own strategy, and on the 9th March, I'm having my rally, and I'll have a series of rallies. Okay? Let's spread out. Let's spread out. So, as I said, I'm not a typical politician. Kungo panga kuti zachi guru. Now, yes, at here and there, like Jacob Hara na nisonkhano kuperekezi kunzimba na ndiitana kuti ndipite. I said that job because at that time I was in Blantyre, had the engagement with stakeholders in Blantyre, na Kulimbe market, you saw meeting vendors, Kulimbe and the like. So he told me when I'd already made a date with the vendors in Kulimbe, they would Sindibuya and so I excused myself, but I was going to attend this rally. So there are times people will invite me, I will go. Depending on my schedule. You can ask Jagobauta. I've got messages. You're telling me today, so I'm not going on the crew. Next time, I'll go myself. But we need to spread out.
Mufoto was engineer Mumba, kuti inosima khulupirira zinthu za unji ngati ngombe. Komano anthu ena amaganiza kuti tikatere tikabwera pamodzi chonchi tonse nde kuti pakhala impact yayikulu kwambiri. Inuyo maganizo amenewo mukuyikapo mulomo motani?
Number one, never ngasonkhano last year pakatoto grounds. The first politician, what's our president, kuzazisa katoto ground for the first time since Chokwa Chihana. Univesa. Panaro Njunji, what impact are you talking about? Watch my next rallies that I'll be having and see the impact. Now compare Chunjunji and bring along. The thing is, there's no difference, you know. So we rather spread out, have Unjunji, 1 billion in particular, than just Mozi, not the impact on Billy. We need to spread out. And that's my philosophy, my thinking. And I strongly believe that.
Modi ndizoteka inu kungokhala bonoka Vitumbiko Mumba uchitisa msonkhano kwakuti wina so kukhala koyekha.
Zoteka and 2019 before Guramboma Timatero, we are spreading out. Kwambiriso. You know, and that time it was a dance. I remember Kumbojara Ruko, just Banda Ruko, Kamuzamba Ruko, Kasonga Ruko, Kimendo Ruko, Ambibel, deals like that. And it was working in the win, you know. So I strongly believe that as I said, the issue of the impact and the like, for example, Ngande Kekatoto, the most feared ground in Zuzu, northern region. It's more like a barometer because Katoto ground, see ground in if you go to Katoto ground, you don't want Peter in Songhano. See the ground whereby we didn't get Pajani. So I'm just saying good. I've done it myself before.
Ndino member la waneki anthu amene akuchita iziso ali muneki pomwemo. Have you shared this philosophy kwa zinzano amene ali muneki?
We are a democratic dispensation party. The majority carries what? The day.
I'm saying, have you shared this philosophy?
Yes, okay. So we discuss and we share ideas and views, and the thinking sometimes is always different, but nothing affects the operation of the party. Yeah.
Ubale wa wanu ndi secretary general achipani cha MCP ndi otani?
Labwino wambiri zedi. Yeah.
Tibwererenso ku nkhani iyi ya kunduna kwanuku sina ngati kumapita ku ndale komanso ku zimene mukugwira ku nduna wanu ngati nduna notsopano. Mwayenderapo mafakitale osiyanasiyana, takuona ni mukutseka ndithu mafakitale osiyanasiyana. Mwina pali gapu yotani kuno ku Malawi pamene anthu akupangira operate mafactory awo komanso kugwira ntchito ndi antchito amene akugwira nawo mafactory?
What zimene ndona ndili ku labor ndi zimene ndona ndili ku Ministry of Trade, yeah, got the same common denominator. Ngati dziko, we don't own this economy as Malawians. It's owned by foreigners. Ndi nthawi yona kuti tiganize tilingalira katatu kuti economy yathu ipita kukhala chonchi, because mutaona zimene zipangidwa pakatipa zoti nangokwera malesi nangokwera black market kwambiri and the like kwera. It's because of the people who claim to control the economy because they are the biggest business owners. Amalawi tiphunzire kupanga zinthu limodzi and move forward. Ndinapanga press conference jana Monday, napanga lifa kwa mabuku amene analemba Professor Chinyamata Chipeta, former lecturer wa Indigenous Economics College, anaenda kuti anemba buku lake Money and Credit in an African Context. Buku lina nawerengaso ndi Communalist Manifesto. Ama kama zonoti ngati anthu akuda, I repeat, ngati anthu akuda, chikhalidwe chathu ndi cha communal. Timakonda kupanga tutani limodzi. That's why makanisa ndi families liye mna kunyumba kwanu mosongana nazibale yako kwa muna unidiana. That's we are communal in nature. That's our culture. That's why panopa ma banking konde, ma cooperatives, ma alumni associations, because timakonda ni kupanga limodzi. Ndi munga ma alumni associations, apart from mungu panga za GPP or ma get together, why can't we say, okay, let's put money together. After 5 years, we form a company as alumni association. Univesa ndipo inagira kupole tipo nyamara inage but my agent investments inaweka 100 pini ina 50 pini ina 25 pini tukenda marani pamoja panopa. I think we are over in hundreds of millions watchers. We've been putting that for the past 4 years. We say when we get $1 billion, we should be able to start now investing in whether it's property or a factory or whatever and the like. We can have our own supermarkets, superstores. We need to take hold of our economy. So the biggest underlying problem I've seen, we don't own the economy. We need to own the economy. Otherwise, these things will continue and people continue exploiting Malawians, exploiting us forever and ever. It must come to a halt. It must come to a stop. And I believe the time is now.
Nde mukuchitapo chani kundunawo kuti zinthu zimene zizi zisinthe munakamba ponso nkhani yakaunjika kuti machina nkubwera kumazipita makaunjika Malawi alipo.
Yeah, like apapa. Ndanikamba za section 36 ya Business License Act imene mandoleza nena kuti mabhizinesi awawa tichani zona abale kaunjika alipanga anthu akunja, you know, mining yongofuna makaso anthu akunja, trading and forwarding my agency anthu akunja. Panopa upita ku MRI kuja kupeza ma Chinese trading agents, they only trading in Chinese zinzawo because they bring big volumes, keeping Malawians out of what? Business. When you go with the Chinese panel beating, you just own the stuff. Zona investors panel beating Malawi. So we need to start talking and discussing. Construction, my view is that any work below 20 billion must be reserved for Malawians, no matter what. Unless it's a very difficult specific job. Otherwise, let it be reserved for Malawians. Botswana does it. South Africa does it. So much amount is reserved for the locals. So we need to get to a point where enough is enough. You can't have someone coming to do a job here to bring for what reason? It will keep Malawians out of business, out of economy. So we are exploring those options. Let's look at restricting some of the businesses that these are reserved from Malawians, and that's how you start getting the economy. But as a minister of trade as well, we are working with SMEs and cooperatives, and there's a success story. Jitabanga district order ija, maiona ija. Nabi also list yantamina paka menezi ija. They were failing to break the market simply because of foreign what? Competition. So, okay, this is a guy is easy. Let's give our people a chance to grow. And I can assure you the quality is very good. You know, so whatever we restricted, we know the source is there, the quality is there, the standard is there. The consistency might be a challenge because they've not been tested now. So we'll see that, and we'll be in the budget. Capacity development and what, and the EU, UNDP, in Togo's World Bank, they're helping us a lot in terms of that. Like Nagamba
Minanka wainali pamene papa kuti muabweretsa bani koma pomwe budget yakonzedwa kale kuti mwayika ndondomeko zotani budget poonetsetsa
budget nakonzedwa yokonzedwa ndipo we've met MPs and the Minister of Finance and the proposition ilipo ya SME and the like ilimo ndipo abiri usikhuzidwa yakono ilimo ndithu nakuti, and we've been doing that from some time. When I say me opanga zintu there, maybe when we went to Palombe, opanga wine, opanga jam, opanga peanut butter, you're going to quit to kitchen. Actually, I'll be visiting some other companies with the aim of marketing them. In Mpemba, opanga the first powdered milk factory in Malawi, owned by an indigenous black Malawian. People try to suppress him. That guy, there's a story, resilience. I salute that gentleman. I want to protect his business. You know? So these are the struggles that Malawians face. And that guy, business, kutenga loan, it was a challenge. You know? It was a challenge. But there's some foreigners who come in, them of investors, they just come with an idea, they have to get funding. Investor investment yake. Instead of bringing money to invest in the country, we need to change the way we do MITC issues, investment certificates. In other countries where I've lived and worked, you cannot come into a country as an investor with less than $10 million. Kunogo, I was being told $50,000, but you're an investor. $50,000? Come on. When some people in business in Malawi, that's their money, they take to buy in South Africa. Then bring an investor. No, we can't go on like that. So we need, so as a ministry, we are looking at all those things. You understand? So in terms of the ban, yes, we've done that, but the quality is there. Nagamba that's sapato. We've got Chatad Zen Studio at Chileka. I went there. I go bang jumbo the school shoes, and I said again, pass out your last time your MDF 1,500 shoes. So if we're able to meet my standards MDF, which are the highest level of security, why should my company security like police, like prisons, like MRA, like my Yaji Voice, not buy from them? It's made, and with the support from the EU, we've got a nice factory that makes that. So we need to give them a chance and shield them from competition, and the law allows us to do that.
As much as we appreciate the work that you're doing, Honorable Minister, kumapakumatuluka mphekesera zina kuti mwina makampani na amene mukumayendera mwina akuti zinthu zina mwina mukumango zipeka chabe kumango aphatikizira kuti ya isakuchita bwino izi mwina ndikuwatsekera kuti nanunso mupezepo kena kake. How do you comment on such rumors that are coming out?
I mean, taphatikizira tatsekera mosa ndando na capital court. No one has complained. No one. Remember saying na Vitumbiko 14 days kutani ikutamawa. Tisetegula mawa 14 days yakwana. And the rest later, we engage them. We are meeting them today at 10:30. So what I do is, I don't meet them alone. I meet them, my peers and directors this side, also this side, and we discuss open table. So if there's anything, for what? You know. Otherwise, Asana and Abuela, we discussed, explained the issues, and I think I think I'm so there's only two that we have closed. They're still closed, and we have closed them, and we don't have even their contacts until after 14 days. And winner, called saying, I didn't know my manager is doing this. I have fired him. Mitengo yaka unjirani, that's Chisago. Very good, I would not let to watch. Kumabanga 1 million watch. 29 Nadia manager. That's why someone display Mitengo Yani by my shelf. So the owner was blindsided. So he's thanking us for bringing that thing open. So if at all, even Asana, we're like, Mumba, we didn't know these things. Thanks for visiting our journey. The managing director said this in our meeting for minister. We thank you for Johnny for bringing these things to our attention. So the owner, the chairman, came to the minister and we discussed and we understood. So we're not there to replace people. Where there is a proper explanation, and I think you would see the ababa and trying to comment. So as I'm the chairman, I can't make a decision. Comment. The people comment. I think about this problem and they have rectified. Let's move forward. So I like being open and transparent and honest. So
pamene tumaliza program yathu anthu ena akumaganiza kuti mwina president chakwera amene mwamufotokozera inu ndi mmenenso mukuwadziwira kuti akumala kuitsa ndi nduna zawo inunso si ndi nduna nde kuti mwinanso muli mguluso mwa anthu amenewo kuti nduna ndi zimene zikuwalakwitsa a president wa mudziko muno kuti zinthu zifike apa pamene zafika apa inu mukhoza kukambapo zotani?
Funso limenelo wandiga pampeni ndi zoti ndingaikepo ndimangweni kwedi mundikhululukire but people are free to make their own conclusions anthu atakhala kuminister kuziwonera but one thing I know that the president is doing his best to serve Malawians. And most of the times you act based on the advice that is given, comments, or based on the information that is brought on his table. Most of the times able to pick, let's question this. Like in the so he's able to guide as well. So and the whole country took after. I can't say that or I cannot comment on that one, but I'm just saying it's a complex situation. But what I say that he's doing his best as far as I'm concerned. And even the ministers are doing their best to help serve the president.
Pomaliza, ntchito imene mukugwira akuyamikira si anthu okuti mwina ndi aboma IMCB okha kapena Malawi ena komanso mwina kumbaliyo zipani zotsutsa zikumatha ena tupamva kumatha kuyamikira ntchito imene mukugwira ngati nduna munayamba kuleba kuno apa ntchito imene mukugwira ku Ministry of Trade kungoyerekeza osati nimene zikhalire koma MCB tiyerekeze kuti mwina yaluza chisankho pa 16 September kwabwera boma lina kaya ndi DPP, UDF, UDM, AFOD kaya ndi PP ndikusankhani inu kuti mukhale nduna mu boma limenelo.
You can in two ways. Number one, a Malawi anatopa ndi ndale. That's why I said in a Suandale, I'm an engineer, professional. I didn't join politics to become a typical politician, but just to work. And when you see people from both sides of the parliament saying that in terms of supporters, it just shows you one thing. People are tired of politics. They want something anew. That's number one. Number two, siningerekeze kuti MCP yachoka ndi boma inabwera because the MCP siuchoka mboma yayi and so there's nothing
MCP siuchoka sibira kuli kose
never
anthu akuti zakuvuta nitwa MCP malonjezo amene munalonjeza ndi zimene zikuchitika kukwera mitengo kwa zinthu natchulako kuti mitengo zinthu zakwera kwambiri peteleza munalowa ndi kutafika 4500 pano ali pa 100 chakuti
anthu utadandaula kuona kuti aku Zambia uzakugula fuel cheaper on Malawi, and that's a fact. Zambia are coming to get fuel from Malawi smuggling because it's cheaper this side. So, let's look at it from a global perspective. Global perspective, not only Malawi, because Malawi we're even a global village. So you cannot look at Malawi as Malawi per se. Look at Malawi as part of the fabric, ya Ziko. So, what's one tango? It's not only Malawi; it's everywhere. So. It's a matter of how we explain and let people understand. So I'll say it again. What I can tell you is NEVER, never. Chakwera Saguchoga, Bomandromera MCP, we're ruling again from 16 September onwards.
2000 kwambira nduna ndimo munthu oyenda kamwendo njira tinatero muri mumakhamu pena pali bose koma munapeza nthawi kuti mucheze nafe mu program yathu ya Zodiak Exclusive.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Umunso ndi mmene tamalizira kucheza kwathu ndi engineer Vitumbiko Mumba mu program yathu ya lero ya Zodiak Exclusive. Ine ndileya Malikano Pirizani kuonera ma program otsatira pano pa Zodiak. Mwakumana nonse.